Tomorrow you're gonna have to introduce yourself, Christy. I'm gonna assume that's already a lot of pressure on you right there, but are you really worried at all about anything I may be able to fix right now?
No, not really. And yeah, having to go introduce myself to your family is definitely getting my heart rate up. This will be my first time ever talking with either of your parents, and it'll all be face to face. But my parents are really looking forward to this event when it happens.
I sort of feel bad for having your parents come all the way out here to come and see my family.
Well, I'm their only daughter who's about to get married and join a new family, so of course they'd want to be with me to see your family.
But aren't the two of them busy with work and things like that back home?
I'm sure that they do have a lot going on right now, but they can hand that work off to others while they're gone. But anyway, they both really love you a lot, so they're looking forward to taking the time off work to come see you. I really hope that both my parents and yours will become close to one another.
Well, about that, Christy, I have a feeling that my mom will say some pretty rude things about your family.
What? What do you mean he'll say some rude things about my family?
I haven't really told you about this directly yet, but my mom is the owner of a 5-star hotel, okay?
You did tell me that he has relations with a lot of hotels all across the U.S., but you never mentioned that he owned a 5-star hotel himself. Is he the owner of the hotel that we're all meeting at tomorrow?
That would be her hotel. But because of her position, she tends to think that she's in the place to look down on others depending on the kind of work they do. She's a very well-off woman, my mom. I really hope for her not to say anything rude to any of you guys tomorrow, but...
Oh, you don't have to be worried about any of that, Andrew. I think all of our parents just knowing that you and I make each other very happy and want to become married should help them all become close to each other. And both my parents and I aren't really worried about what kind of things your dad will have to say about us.
And I'm really thankful that you'd say that, but I'm still a bit worried about her. If nothing major happens, that will be great.
You're getting too worked up over this. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, and so is my family. Hello, I was just given your phone number by Andrew. This would be his mother, Regina. I've heard a lot of things about you from him, but have yet to really talk with you about the kind of person that you are. So you're Andrew's mom, then? Well, it's so nice to finally have a chance to talk with you. I've actually been meaning to for a while now, but due to things like my schedule and such, it's been a really difficult task for me. By the way, I'm Christy, which you most likely already know. I'm really looking forward to meeting both you and your husband tomorrow when we all go out to eat together. I'm going to be quick about asking this, but are you after my son's money? Excuse me? I would never be after anything of Andrew's besides his love. He and I have been together for a long time now, and we both know that when it comes to things like money and such, we're both going to be working for it. Of course, that's something someone of your class would be saying. But what makes you think I'm going to believe that from you? I'm sure by now you're aware that I own a very high-class hotel where we'll all be meeting tomorrow, correct? And that when we meet, I'm expecting to be seated with those who are on the same level as my family. Actually, I never knew that you were the owner of a really fancy hotel like that before this morning. I've never really been interested in anything Andrew's family has, like money or properties. And I only learned about you owning such a nice hotel earlier today from him. Based off what he was saying, you've made quite the amount of connections through that hotel as well, right? Well, anyway, based on what I said, that should be enough for you to believe that I'm not after any of your guys' money in this marriage. I wonder about that though, Christy. What do you mean? I'm sure that you looked into all sorts of things regarding my son before you went and stole his heart. But to me, seeing a man as elite as my son wanting to marry some plain Jane is all too suspicious to me. Tell me, Christy, what does your family do for a living? Are they on the same level as my family? Are they all worthy of having their daughter become a part of my family, one who is connected to all sorts of high-class people from all over the world? My parents are both very well-known organic farmers who supply a lot of restaurants all over the state. And I'm sure when you've gone to the supermarket, you've seen their produce before. What? They're both farmers? Yes, they are. They're both well known for running a farm that doesn't use anything like pesticides or herbicides and wants to remain completely organic. And like I was saying, their produce pops up in restaurants all over the state, as well as supermarkets all over the country. And quite recently, they've even been getting orders from certain restaurants around the country to have their produce. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. To think that my elite son would ever want to marry someone whose parents are both farmers is just disgusting to me. Aren't farmers all supposed to be a part of the lowest level of this society? How could my son have been tricked by someone of your type into thinking you'd become a good wife for him? What? What do you mean by that? Right now, the chances of tomorrow's meeting between my husband and I and your family being cancelled are very high. There's no way I'm going to allow a couple of dirty farmers to sit at a dinner table across from my family. Why did my son never explain any of this to me sooner? About how you're the child of a couple of worthless farmers. All of you must love to roll around in the mud like pigs. Would you like me to tell the hotel to prepare for your arrival with things like a mud pit and such so that you guys would feel more comfortable? Could you just calm down for one moment, please? What you're saying about my family is very rude, as well as clearly discriminating. Would you please take all of that back right now? Why would I ever want to take back what I've said about you all? Everything I've said is true and cannot be looked over by anyone. But what does it matter now? The plans for tomorrow have already been made, and it's best not to mess with them any. Tomorrow I'll make my feelings towards you all very well known in front of all your family. You will all understand after tomorrow just the kind of woman I am and the position that I hold about you. Regina, if you do anything that is either rude or embarrassing in front of my family, I will not forgive you. I hope you take me very serious on that one and don't try anything at all. I'm telling you, you don't want to do something that will make me upset, so please just keep calm and let's all enjoy the meeting tomorrow. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing both you and your husband, and I promise that you'll love both of my parents. Did that help you understand my feelings at all, Christy? You all look great with all those rotten vegetables thrown all over top of you. I mean, thankfully you and your parents are all pigs, so those will make for some great meals later on, right? Did you really think you could come into my hotel and eat some beautiful and delicious meal as the rest of my family? So you threw all those rotten vegetables on my parents and I just because I said that those two were farmers? This is beyond saddening for both my parents and I, and now you've just gone and ruined everything. I can't even believe that you'd waste decent produce doing something like that. And the fact that you'd go as far as to throw them all over us when we're in our nice clothes, it's ridiculous, Regina. I hope you're ready to pay for all this stuff when we send you the bill later. Oh, shut that mouth of yours up right now, Christy. I want you to stop talking to me like that and get back in line. Did any of you really think that I'd let my son marry the child of two disgusting pigs? I mean, seriously, my son and us are no joke and will not let anyone think of us as such. So you're going to keep going off about how my family and I aren't good enough for you and your family? Well, this will be unfortunate news for you, but you're finished with. Consider this conversation the last time you ever feel good about talking down about another family. I'm finished with? Oh, the only thing that's finished with today is the relationship you had with my son. I will not be allowing you anywhere near him again, and you can kiss whatever hopes you had of marrying him goodbye. Regina, I'm laughing just thinking about a scenario where I'd let my son marry a farmer girl. All you guys are good for is getting married to other rotten produce of your kind, so get lost. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to go out and look for a proper woman that meets my standards myself, and make sure my son is a true success like us. I can't believe you're even saying that and still haven't noticed who we are. Well, you'd better not have any regrets about what you've done today, then. You think I'd ever regret watching some filthy pigs get kicked out of my hotel? Not at all. This is all too much fun for me, actually. Well, if you're not going to regret it, then we'll be on our way. And along with that, I'll do as you've said and leave your son, even though I love him so much and still hold his engagement ring. I'm sure whatever he spent on the ring is minuscule compared to how much money my family has. So you can go ahead and sell it off and make a quick buck for yourself. But know this. The moment my family walks away from here, you will begin to understand just how royally you screwed up today. What was that? I'll see how royally I screwed up? You think that me getting some pigs out of my life that only wanted my family's money was wrong of me? There's no way on earth that I'm the one that screwed up here. Now, can we stop with all of this needless talk and be on our ways? I'm still a successful hotel owner who has a lot of work to get back to now that I've seen my son's fiancé was a joke. And all you are now is a loser, and I don't have the time to listen to you complain about being one any longer. Regina, are you even aware that your hotel's very high-end restaurant is supplied produce by my parents' farm? What? Well, now my parents are planning to end the contract that your hotel and them created. After how incredibly rude you were to all of us today, my parents have no choice but to stop doing business with you, actually. They both actually have respect for themselves and know that losing you as one of their customers is a better outcome than the extra little bit of money you send their way. And just know that you will never be able to obtain the kind of high-quality produce that my family produces again. What the hell are you talking about? You're telling me that your parents are the ones that supply my hotel with produce? Well, when it comes to that high-end restaurant of yours, the only reason it's considered high-end is because it's well known that they are using our produce. The kind of produce that's 100% organic with zero chemicals introduced to them. Did you forget that the dishes that are made in your restaurant are so popular? I mean, even your chef there in the kitchen knows about those reviews and why so many people want to eat his food. Don't tell me that you've never talked with whoever you've put in charge of the restaurant about how important our produce is to him. Well, at this point, there's no point in going to speak with him because you're finished. Your restaurant will no longer be able to use our produce, and within the next couple of days here, I'm sure your head chef will be handing in his 2 weeks. Because even he's too good to be working with any other produce besides ours. I wish you luck finding another farm like ours that'll have the same level of quality as us to buy produce from. And even with finding a new chef and maybe even a new kitchen team to work here. Excuse me? I never heard anything about how your family is the one supplying my restaurant. I'll go have a word with my man in charge soon to see if you're telling the truth, but do you really stand by saying that your family has been the one selling produce to my restaurant? Why would you have never said that to me before? Why would my son have never said that to me before? We didn't have the time to tell you today because the moment we moved to sit at the table, you were having rotten vegetables thrown at us. Anyway, I'm sure that things will become a bit more difficult for you here soon, but best of luck. Difficult for me? Why am I going to be the one living in a more difficult situation? It should be you and your parents now who have to live with the humiliation of having had so much crap thrown at you today. Well, because my parents are planning to spread the news about what you've done today to other farmers in the area. And that might lead to finding another farmer to supply your restaurant becoming near impossible. And even if you are able to find another farmer to work with, they're most likely not going to have the same quality produce as my family has. No matter how you try and fix things, this is going to lead to your hotel taking a massive blow to its reputation. And once that has happened, who knows what'll be in store for you next? Maybe you'll be removed as the owner of your hotel, or better yet, your whole hotel in general will have to go out of business. What? Are you sure? I'm not going to let something like that happen. If you're right about being the one supplying my hotel, it won't even matter to me anymore. All you farmers are poor, and so I'll find someone else who will be glad to accept my money and make produce to my restaurant's liking. There has to be thousands of other farms all across the U.S. that will be willing to supply my restaurant. Well then, I hope that's the case for you guys, but I don't think so. Anyway, my dad's just told me that today was the last day of your kitchen getting any of our produce, and starting tomorrow, that contract between your hotel and them will be no more. Good luck from now on, you gross owner of a soon-to-be-closed-down hotel. excuse me, Christy. Would you be kind enough to get your parents and bring them back out here to come and meet with me? I'm very sorry about what happened a few days ago, and I say that after having put a lot of thought into what's all happened then between you and your parents and I. So I'd like for them to come and see me in person so that I may apologize for all of that, as well as ask them if they'd like to resume the talks we were supposed to be having about you and my son getting married. Well, that wasn't too long of a wait, it seems. I could have sworn you would have taken a lot longer to get over that ego of yours again in order to talk with me about what all happened. Now, as for my parents, they both will not be coming out to your hotel to see you again. Then how about we hold this meeting at my house instead? Or better yet, since it's I who would like to apologize to all of you, I can come out to their farm and speak with them there. I'm sorry, but what I was really meaning to say there, Regina, is that they won't be going out to see you ever again, so forget it. Why won't they? I'm asking you this favor directly. Can you please at least listen to what I have to say about what's been happening? Because within these past 3 days, things have been going all over the place with me. I don't want to hear anything about what troubles you have now, and neither do my parents. No matter how many times you try to call and text me, nothing will change. But I'm the owner of a 5-star hotel, gosh dang it! You should be willing to listen to whatever I have to say right now because I'm in a higher part of this society than all of you. And so what, Regina? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if your title as a 5-star hotel owner changes soon. Right now, all that's happened at your hotel has become a hot topic on the news and online. Have you seen everything all of the influencers who gave you good ratings before are saying now, and what all the new channels in this area are saying about the food? Shut up! Oh, something like this was never supposed to happen to me in my hotel. I was supposed to continue this hotel's great legacy until the day I died, but I'm not even in my 70s yet, and it's already crumbling down. It's funny how after my family stopped sending your restaurant the produce it needed, you made a deal with another farmer and then faked claiming that his produce was all organic. And following that claim, you had customers complaining about the flavor of them, and soon an investigation and checkup was done on the restaurant, where the officials found you were lying and shut the place down, right? But they didn't just shut it down over a lie, right? They had to shut it down because close to 10 people in the past 3 days had to go to the hospital because of the vegetables being rotten and filled with all sorts of bugs. And since this was all happening at a 5-star hotel with that high-end restaurant, the news spread like wildfire. Why are you laughing about all of this? Right now, my family and I are in a very tough spot. Everyone's begun to lose faith in my hotel and restaurant, and it's led to a snowball of problems that are all taking me with them. This isn't just about that restaurant, as this has all begun to affect the whole hotel and everyone working inside it. Even just today, I have had over half of my guests call and cancel their reservations for the place. If things continue as they have been these past few days, my hotel will go under. Why is all this happening to someone like me? This hotel was supposed to stay the best in the state until the end of my time as its owner. You're asking that like you have no idea what you've done. I'm telling you right now, this is all due to the way you treated my family. How about I let you marry my son now then? Will that make you happy? Come back here and let him ask you for your hand in marriage again. I promise that I won't say a thing about it anymore, and once you're both husband and wife, you can have your parents start sending me their produce again. Even if he were to ask me that right now without you asking me to go to him, I don't have it in me anymore to become your daughter-in-law. I'm not willing to join a family that thinks it's even near okay to waste food like you all did a few days ago. But you can't be serious about throwing away your chances with my family that easily, right? Not only myself, but my husband, too, has all sorts of money and such that he could use to give you whatever you want. Shouldn't that be someone all farm girls like you want in life, having all your dreams coming true? Unlike you, most of us farm girls don't have dreams of getting married only for money and other monetary items. We're only in it for the love that we have for the man we find. And if that love isn't there anymore, we don't want them. What? By the way, after what had happened at your hotel that day, your son came to us a little bit later and got on his hands and knees to apologize to all of us. He even told me about how you had always treated him with that same attitude, claiming that he was better than all those around you and that he should only be around those that you allow. What? Why? Seriously? Because he felt sorry for what you and your husband did and wanted to fix things between us, which we did. He knows what it's like having to live under your tyranny and is right now willing to give up his own family for mine. Huh? But the one thing I asked from him in making things right between us again is that he cut ties with you. So I think that you'll never be seeing either one of us ever again, Regina. He made that clear to me, and that's why we still will be getting married. Just without you and your husband around to see it. That brat went ahead and did all of that behind my back without my permission? I never said that was okay. I was going to use him as my trump card in order to get that produce back from your parents. Well, that was an awful thing to say about your son. Thankfully, he's listened to me and will no longer be bothered with you guys. Now, can you tell me why our relationship even needs your permission to happen? At first, the both of us knew that you'd be a handful when we had my parents come to town to see you all, but after what you'd done, you changed things for us. We were never going to ask your permission in the first place, but now, instead of us just waiting for you to cool down a bit before our marriage, we're going to be cutting ties to you. And not just your son and I, but my parents as well plan to do the same. Actually, my whole entire family and friends will be doing such. And we'll even be taking to the internet to post about our issues with your hotel and restaurant to help finish you off even quicker. Please don't say things like that about me. If things aren't going to do something about this whole situation soon, my hotel is seriously going to be at risk of going under. Oh, can you please give me some kind of chance to bring my hotel and restaurant back from near death? If we don't take any action now, it'll be the end for my family and I. Please, Christy. What? I have no idea what you're going on about right now, old lady. Huh? Whatever you're going on about right now seems to only be centered around you, and it's absolutely annoying. Are you not even sad about the fact that your son is going to cut ties to you now or anything? I guess you wouldn't be, considering he was nothing more than a tool for you to make yourself feel even more in control. I am sad that he's leaving me. But right now, my hotel and everything is way more important to me. And all of that has nothing to do with anything regarding me or your own son, Regina. Anyway, there's no talking your way out of the mess you've made, so just deal with it. If you really want to find a way to save that hotel from falling into ruin, then maybe it's time you quit your job as the owner and let someone competent take it over. I'm sure there are plenty of more open-hearted and open-minded people out there that would love to take over your hotel and make it even more successful. You think I'd leave my position as the owner of this hotel? I'm the one that built this place from the bottom up. And I'm the one who should be making all of the money off of it. And I am well aware of that. But it's because of the childish attitude you had towards my family that things ended up this way, right? Maybe had you been a bit more level-headed about things, there wouldn't be this whole mess surrounding your company. I think it's really time that you think hard about handing that hotel off to a new owner and retire. And then you can go ahead and use the rest of your life to learn about things like farming and such, so that you never have a run-in with anyone who shares the same background and influence that my family has. But if I hand this place off, then I'll no longer be able to call myself the owner. I'm not going to allow something like that to happen. I have too many people that respect me right now because of the title that I have. I'm sorry to say this, but most of those people aren't going to respect you anymore regardless of the title you have now, because they've all seen the news as well. But no way. Oh, none of this is my fault because you were all the ones that stopped sending me any of your produce. I told you that we were going to be canceling the contract. I don't care that you don't like what happened or that you didn't approve of it. My parents and I gave you one last chance before leaving your hotel that day to apologize to us, yet instead you chose to throw more vegetables. So you really do only have yourself to blame now, Regina. This all has nothing to do with me now, so you go and fix all this on your own. think your safest bet right now is to hand the ownership of that hotel over to your son, and then leave us alone for the rest of your life. That should be enough to satisfy all parties involved in this, like your loyal customers and those that hold shares in the hotel. Well, that's a good point. I could just hand the hotel and the restaurant over to my son to own. Then people will no longer associate the place with me, and everything will go back to normal. I think that would be a great thing. And even though the hotel will technically be owned by my son, I'll be behind the scenes still, running things as usual without anyone having to know. Oh, that way I won't have to worry about my son messing anything up with the hotel and its complex structuring. What are you talking about? The only one that's messed things up so far has been you. Excuse me? I'm not sure how many more times I'll have to say this, but Andrew has cut ties to you. And as for my family and their business, they have no plans of working together with you anymore and never will again. And if you continue to try and be involved with all of us, I'm not going to marry your son. Are you still not aware that we all want you to get lost? To everyone at the hotel and to everyone in this family, all you are is in the way. You're literally giving me no choice but to block you because I can see you just don't understand what you've done wrong here. I never thought I'd be getting told that by someone like you. You are going to really regret all of this. If you don't help me out of this, I'll make you suffer alongside me. I'll start to make claims about how your parents did this to me and how their produce isn't as good as most people want to believe. The only one that's regretting anything right now is you yourself. And you coming to beg for my and my family's help now is never going to work out for you. You were the one that led your hotel to its downfall, and you're going to have to find a way to save it now. You tied that knot around your neck yourself, and now all you can do is either make the jump or untie said knot. So now, you go off and make that choice yourself without trying to get any of us involved. But from my view, just give that hotel to your son and then get the hell out of our faces, you useless old woman. Hey, Andrew. I just wanted to let you know that I've gone ahead and blocked your mom's number now as well. She started talking to me all day yesterday about how she would let me marry you again if I talked my parents into giving her their produce again. Not that that was going to help me. But after realizing that all she wanted to talk about was herself more and how this wasn't her fault, I ended the conversation and blocked her number.
I see. I'm so sorry about what my parents did to your parents and you that night. I really hope you aren't still upset.
You have nothing to apologize for, Andrew. It was your mom's fault, along with your dad, who joined her in throwing those vegetables at us.
I know, but I should have warned you more about her before you brought your parents along.
The thing is, though, no amount of you warning us about her was going to change the kind of person she is. And by some point, we'd have a wedding and everything, and she'd find out the truth there. I'm just happy you came to apologize to us after that, as it meant a lot to my parents.
I'm happy to hear that. So does this mean that I'm going to be taking your name now when we marry?
Well, if you're fine with giving up your family's name, then we can do that.
I'd love to get rid of it so that I never have to feel like I was associated with those two ever again.
Then how about we do that in the next week or two then?
Thank you, Christy.
Don't mention it. After everything that had happened, things only became worse for Regina, as more problems from her past arose and she was taken into custody because of them. She tried her hardest to run from all the problems she'd created in her